Hello, Pisces, and welcome to your March forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see everybody. Thank you so much for your patience, both last month and this month. As promised, I'm starting at the end of the zodiac and working forwards. So much of the delay last month was due to me just needing to get out of LA so the air quality would improve. So again, I appreciate your patience with me putting health first. So over the course of the next week, we're going to get all of the videos done for the following month. So keep an eye out. Make sure that if you haven't already liked and subscribed, you do, so you get all the notifications. With that being said, let's get started for you. This is going to help you navigate the next 4 or 5 weeks. We're going to begin, as always, with channeled messages. And as I was getting ready and meditating for your sign today, what I saw was a grasshopper. And for me, this represents multiple things. First of all, good luck. In many instances, when you look at different cultures, a grasshopper is seen as lucky. It also represents the ability to take a jump or a leap, in this case, maybe a leap of faith towards something new. So I would connect this to the Fool card in tarot. That means that as we're stepping into the next month, many of you may be deciding this is the time to push the go button, to send, to sign on the dotted line. Whatever it is that you've been waiting for, I'm definitely getting that now is the time to initiate. The other thing that comes through when I think about a grasshopper is the voice in your mind, your conscience basically saying, do this or don't do that. So intuitive development as well, and we could also take it and say consciousness, like expanding your consciousness. And I think that could also grow by leaps and bounds if you're willing to sort of go there and explore. Overall, we're seeing movement as a common theme, possibly even a feeling that things are starting to break through. So as we take a look at the cards here, let's see where those Fool moments might be coming through, where intuitive development might also be approaching or opening up to you. And if there's anything that you need to listen to, if there's some common sense that wants to show up here in the spread, I'll make sure that I highlight it. With that being said, let's give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming forth. Before we move forward, there we go. Mr. Apollo is in the background. Let's give him a little scratch on the head and then I'll get into the cards. Hey buddy, good to see you. Yes. All right, let's get to work now. All right, take a moment, please. Close your eyes. Imagine that you are looking at the sunrise, feeling the warmth and radiance as the rays of sun wrap around your body, planting your feet firmly in the ground. And now in this energy of safety, connection, and grounding, let's call in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. And let's see what's coming through for you over the course of the next month. Two cards that volunteered. We have another, you have lots of twinning cards, which is really interesting this month. All right, let's begin with your catalyst, which is comprised of the empty room and the heart. All right, I think it is so appropriate as we're looking at this that the empty room came up first. This is what we all want: love, abundance, happiness, opportunity, etc. But what we have to do first is create some space in our life. Think about moving into a new apartment, a new house, starting something on the first day. You have to kind of get an idea of what the space holds for you before you start to fill it up. And that's really the first message here, is to get to know yourself, to get to know your environment, and to be patient. Because that which you seek is en route, but it just may not be here, right now. That space around you, though, is going to help you identify opportunities. And there may be more than one opportunity. So one of the challenges right now is to try to find the one that is the best fit for you in this moment in time. Know who you are, know what you want, and open yourself up to receive. So I think that the heart is really about feeling this sense of loving and acceptance, like loving yourself, accepting yourself, and also believing in your worth. I am ready and I am worthy. Even if it isn't there right now, especially if it isn't, you're holding space to receive what you're working hard to create. So don't give up. That's the first message. There's timing at play. I honestly believe that the universe always has our best interest at heart. Sometimes it's frustrating because you want it right here, right now. So we're going to look in the spread for when the timing might be. But the first message is, especially towards the beginning of this upcoming month, just focus on holding space and being patient. Let's take a look at everything on the table here and see what's going on. So first of all, there's a couple of challenges here, but they lead to better things here. A choice to follow your heart, to be happier. Queen of Cups, Ten of Cups. A necessary change in the form of the Tower and the Five of Pentacles. You taking control, you taking pause. But I do like where it's headed. I'll help you through the challenges. What I do like here is many of you are starting to see the progress. Eight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, really working hard to get to that next level. And as I talked about, the empty room provides room to dream, room to shed your skin and try something new. Let's start off with the center card because it does speak to some of the challenges this month. So we have Nine of Swords coming through. She's burying her head in the sort of covers there. And she's like, I don't want to deal with this. I'll do it tomorrow. And that's actually one of the first messages coming through, which is, first of all, take care of yourself. But there's a time and a place for procrastination, and sometimes putting it off doesn't help. So you don't have to do this alone, though. I think the most important thing in this moment, as we look at the Ten of Cups here in the near future, is to find friends, family, support, and it may not be there right now. I read the comments all the time, all the comments, and I can almost predict some of them. Some of you might say, Nicholas, it's not here. I don't know who to go to. That's why we have this research-oriented Two of Cups and Eight of Pentacles saying, okay, I don't see it, but can I create it? Can I find it? You can even see this person putting something into practice, like journaling or researching or calling. So I'm fully acknowledging that there may be something that isn't here right now, but rather than focusing on the fact that it isn't, get a good night's sleep. And tomorrow, whenever you're watching this, make the first thing on your priority list, where can I find a connection, a support sort of contact? And it could be in the form of a friend. You might be looking for resources around you. You may be the one that actually has more than enough to give and you want to help someone else. But whether you're paying it forward or researching it, now is the time to realize that you don't have to do this next chapter all on your own. For anyone else who's just feeling like their life is together, this is really just about stress management and making sure that you have ample sleep and that you're not pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion or burnout, because we did get a card here that can represent getting a cold. It's in the environment here, the Five of Pentacles. So there may be, again, it could be the work environment around you. There may be someone else sick around you, but you don't want to get yourself to a point where your own immune system isn't what it normally is. So definitely prioritize quality and quantity of sleep. Let's talk about this very powerful Eight of Pentacles. So if you were thinking of going back to school, this card is perfectly aligned with that. This is also a card of just expanding consciousness. We talked about that at the beginning. So this can be listening to a podcast, reading a book, getting involved with people or activities that help you become a better person. Learning isn't just accomplished in a classroom. It can also be a self-guided sort of thing. It can also be something where you're working one-on-one with someone like a mentor. However you want to look at this, the Eight of Pentacles shows me that the investment, the work that you put forth will be returned. So you'll get a return on that energetic investment. This is also saying that in this moment in time, it's a great time to roll up your sleeves and create something that you believe in. So this is definitely a card for my fellow creatives out there. This isn't just for writers or artists though, because Eight of Pentacles is a technical card, and it's one that's also financial. So whether you're building something like a nest for yourself for the future, which we kind of see in this here, the heart, you're working on a passion project, all of these things are coming forth. Give it time. So again, we're going to kind of go back to these two. It takes time to create what your heart desires. Allow yourself to look at the possibilities right now and not be constrained by what isn't immediately there, but rather be inspired by what might be possible, okay? And one of the ways you can do that is by talking to others, educating yourself, training yourself. All of those are comprised within this. Let's take a look at another one of the twinning cards here in the deep past. First, we have Knight of Pentacles, and it's followed by Eight of Wands. These two work really nicely together. The Knight of Wands, look at how focused this knight is on the path at hand. They've done the research. That's what this first card was about here that was crossing the center one. Mapping things out, researching, learning, and then you get a return on that. And this is already in the deep past, so I feel like some of you might have just done some soul searching. You have it. It's right there on the tip of your tongue. It's maybe top of mind, but we haven't yet seen maybe some of the work to kind of like take the first step in that direction. I get that it will be easier than you think once you take that first step. The advice here is that there may need to be a connection, basically. It's like flying. Sometimes we want that direct flight, but often we need to have a connecting flight. And that's kind of what I get with the Knight of Pentacles. You're one hop away from what you want. And going back to the sort of cricket energy at the very beginning, I feel like the first hop might be the most substantial. The second one seems like it's a lot easier. So don't be afraid to take the connecting flight and know that, yes, it might take a little bit longer than you think, but I also get that time is going to go quickly. And you can see here, she's almost at the top stair. So I do feel like that last step, that last hop will be much, much easier than you think. Many of you already have a lot going on. This is in the deep past. Eight of Wands represents, it's like juggling a lot at once. So I think it's important to embrace the imagery on this too. So this knight is looking at the map. He's making sure that he hasn't forgotten something. He's calculating the resources needed, the time, the energy, the money, and then he continues to take the next step. And by doing that, he's going to save time. And by also staying fully engaged, time is going to fly. And that's kind of what I get with this. And you can see that here because there's those three birds. You see that person kind of running up to the top step. So it feels like what you're looking for may be, maybe it's like a 3-month journey. And so don't be sort of disheartened by the fact that it might take just a little bit more effort than you initially thought. It does look like it's going to pay off in the long run. All right, Pisces, we have 3 powerful cards here. 2 of Cups, Queen of Cups, and could this be any more Piscean if it tried? No, that's you. And then we have the 10 of Cups. So partnership, love and self-realization and creativity, and then more community here. So as I said earlier, just because you don't see it yet, the empty room, doesn't mean that you're not going to sort of like be able to accomplish your heart's desires. And we have here 2 of Cups coming through. 2 powerful snake figures in here representing 2 people that have done the work, 2 people that can partner together and bring something special to the mix. That's why I said for some of you, it could just be a mentorship opportunity that is opening up. But if you are looking for love, friendship, or partnership, we see that it is within reach. Shedding your skin is an important element of this particular illustration. And that means in order to bring in this new partnership or opportunity, there might be something in your life that needs to be released. And that's oftentimes the hardest part because we like to wrap around what's familiar like a blanket, right? But it doesn't always serve us. And in fact, when we look at the environment, 5 of Pentacles is showing that it's like maybe at times it's break even, but we want to get you to the energy of abundance. And 2 of Cups, Queen of Cups, 10 of Cups, they're definitely in that energy of abundance. So there could be a new relationship, a new partnership, or something great that is coming through. And in this moment, it's encouraging you and maybe requiring you to step into your power. So we have Queen of Cups energy. She is upright here. So this is about saying, yes, please. Yes, I'm ready. And if someone also wants to reward you or connect with you, rather than wondering, can I do it? Should I do it? Am I worthy? Just say, I'm ready. This is what I've been waiting for. Yes, exclamation point. If you are open this month, creativity wants to come through. Your intuition is starting to light up. And because of all these water cards, things are starting to flow better. That's your element. You're in your element, basically, both figuratively and then literally looking at the cards here. As I look at this Queen of Cups, she's got a lot in front of her. It's kind of like a buffet of opportunity. So what if you actually are able to get more than you anticipated in a good way? So one of the things that I like to always remind people when it comes to manifesting is to open yourself up to receive even more. All of this and greater. That's the way you can kind of tag it on to your prayer or your intention. So universe, I am ready. I am worthy to receive all of this or greater. That lets the universe know that you're open. You're open to an upgrade. And I really feel like this month could be a major upgrade, particularly when it comes to creative opportunities, general mood and happiness, and perhaps a new relationship. 10 of Cups coming through. It's almost like I like to look at, instead of twin flames, twin stars, and that's what we have in this, 2 stars coming together. 10 of Cups represents friends, family, and community. And yes, it can be love. And in all of these different elements, it's also extremely magnetic, meaning that you have the capacity right now to make new connections. So for those of you that were ready to comment and say, Nicholas, I don't have what you're talking about, that's okay. Your heart space is open. We have this nest. You have to build the nest before you can put the eggs in the nest. So you're nesting, you're creating, you're opening the space. And if you build it, 10 of Cups, they will come. 2 of Cups, they will come. But first things first, you have to feel solid. And you have to be more than enough for yourself. So I definitely take issue with the line, you complete me, in that movie, Once Upon a Time, what was it, Jerry Maguire. I think you complete you. And when you are absolutely complete and your Ace of Cups is overflowing, you attract someone else who's done the work. So get to the point where you complete yourself. You feel completely whole. And it doesn't mean you have to leave a relationship or a friendship. It just means that this month, the beginning of it is internal work. And there may be something that's going on where you're afraid to do it, but you can reach out for support if it exists, find new support if it doesn't, and do the work. And it's going to pay off, folks. It's going to pay off. What we have going on in your energy in this month is a necessary change. The Tower does not need to be feared, folks. For those that have watched me over a decade, you know what I'm basically going to say here, which is it can represent a positive shift in your life. So positive towers could be like getting an inheritance, winning some money, when you're, maybe going to a office party or something. It could be someone coming into your life and sweeping you head over heels. This person's literally falling head over heels. And what do we have? Love, friendship, opportunity. And that can sometimes make you feel like, oh my gosh, it's all happening. Disbelief. But it is happening. Major changes can be good. Birth, getting into a new relationship, getting a new job, falling into a money or opportunity sort of situation. And your head can sometimes spin and you can think yourself into a tower. So don't let that happen. This is a time to lean into the change and don't second guess the fact that you've been working hard. Look at how hard, as we go into the deep past, you've been running up that hill, you've been mapping things out, and it's worth it. You're worth it. And so this is just a synchronicity that comes through and it kind of discombobulates you a bit. Now let's talk about other towers. Some of you may be a little bit stubborn and the universe is making it much clearer what the next step needs to be. So if you've stayed a step or two longer in a relationship, a job, or an environment that doesn't serve your highest good, the universe will make it uncomfortable now. It may even make it absolutely necessary for you to move on. So the other side of the tower is, for instance, someone breaking up with you, a job that comes to an unexpected close. It could also be loss of property or even a situation in your life where it's not safe or healthy to be there anymore. The tower isn't there to punish, it's there to push. And basically the universe is saying you must now move on to the next thing. So the one thing as a reader and as a listener that you can take from a tower is it's necessary, it's unstoppable, but now what you do with the tower is where the power comes in. And you have a lot of power this month. Intuition and creativity, love and support, or the ability to connect with new networks. And also, I just feel like you've been working hard on yourself. I read it as a positive and necessary tower. Here's where the challenge exists. So we have Five of Pentacles, and it's one of the most beautiful Five of Pentacles that I've seen. So typically we see someone who lacks support. There's two people outside in the cold. Neither wants to help each other. There's support behind them, but they're in their own headspace a little bit. Here we see a couple of helping hands, and we see someone that's focusing on something that didn't work. And it could be this sense of, I failed, I'm not ready, I'm not worthy. It comes through as more of an emotional Five of Pentacles than an actual Five of Pentacles. So if you can get past the emotion of it, you could have a breakthrough where you're able to accomplish more than you thought with the support of others. I mentioned the research in this card. It could be someone else bringing their own point of view, a therapist, for instance. And that can really help you with this. A financial advisor. That Two of Cups is someone that has a powerful perspective. It's almost a Two of Wands. I look at it and I want to read it that way. So someone has like this light bulb that's going to shine insight and a path in front of you that you hadn't seen before. What you want to focus on this month, personal health and well-being. Five of Pentacles, you may already be sick when I see this, like a cold, flu, etc. I actually had one this past week because when I was visiting one of my family members, they didn't tell me they were sick. And even though I'm very careful and take good care of my mind, body, and spirit, I had a sore throat. But I didn't push myself during the week. I thought I can't do readings or I'll get sicker and I won't recover. I'm finally better today. I had a lot of sleep, a lot of meditation. I'm back to myself, but take care of yourself if that happens. The other thing here is don't accept less than you are worth. So if there's someone in your life that consistently takes more than they give, and it's, a long-term sort of thing, it's not just occasionally, it's not give and take, it's always take, then this is time to put a line in the sand. Now, if a helping hand is offered, accept. The Five of Pentacles is saying, okay, let's do this. And that is also something that I did last month during my travels. I decided to connect with friends and family and say, you know what, yeah, I need a place to stay for a bit. It's not healthy where I'm at. And it was one of the best experiences that I've had in my recent life, basically, or I should say recent times, because it was so nice to be loved and supported. I think we all need that from time to time. 99% of what I do is giving, and I do it every day. And I didn't realize that there was a sense of exhaustion, and it was so nice to just kind of have like people around you hugging you or helping you. And so I realize, again, not everybody has that in the form of friends or family, but this is a month where you can forge the connections. So I hear you. I know that it's not there for everybody, but this is partnership. This is being self-sufficient. This is new connections. And this is saying, I'm ready to reach out or to accept the help. So you can either make the connections or you can accept the help. But either way, something in the environment isn't enough. So for those of you that are working really hard and not getting paid enough, you're going to look for new opportunities. For those of you that give 110% in a relationship and the other party isn't, it's not sustainable anymore. For those of you that are just dealing with self-confidence issues, the universe is coming through this month saying, we have some surprises for you. There are some new opportunities that see you for your worth, but you have to believe it, okay? A lot of different ways to compartmentalize that and look at it. The other thing here is pay attention to your finances. Some of you may be overextended, pulled in too many directions, etc. And this is time to basically remedy that and focus on being more conservative and more mindful of time, energy, and money. Okay, as we look at hopes and fears, and also opportunities. We have the Chariot. Again, a partnering energy in this. So we see the person riding the chariot, but the magic here is in getting people to come together and cooperate and collaborate. So your power this month is in your leadership, it's in your vision, and it's in your ability to help people see common goals and common interests. And again, it's really important to take your time. Do it right the first time. Don't rush to a hasty sort of conclusion. It's okay to have that connection. So I feel like whatever it is, one more time, we just want to talk about that connecting flight or that connecting opportunity, and you're going to get there faster than you think. All right, let's take a deeper dive into health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll begin with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. And we have a lovely card here about healing, divine healing coming through. It's reversed, but let's read it upright. It says, honor your sensitivity, retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. Amen to that. We actually see super magnetic energy here. 2 of Cups, friendship and partnership. 10 of Cups, community. Queen of Cups, literally finding your power, sitting within that power. But it is important to go back to our catalyst energy here, the empty room. And I think for some of you, that space is what's needed to get into this energy of divine healing, represented by Hilarion. So honor your sensitivity. If something feels right, go with it. If it doesn't, please listen to your gut instincts. They're leading you in the right direction. We also have the heart playing a central role in this, and hello, that came through in this card. So let's look at the heart from 2 different angles. First of all, emotionally speaking. So for many of you, you may be healing a wound of the past. This represents childhood drama, trauma, and situations that still end up playing themselves out as we age and get older. So this is a time to heal those sort of situations. It could be in any aspect of your childhood, whether it was a teacher, a sibling, a peer, or someone else in your life. There could be something from childhood that's just coming up, and it may be in a very subtle way. It could be in the energy of this, am I worthy? And again, it could just be someone in your life that said, you're not this or that enough in order to get your dream. I'm here to say you are ready, you are worthy, but there has to be that switch internally that shifts. The heart, of course, is also physically the heart. So you may decide to take better care of yourself, more attention to diet, to exercise, to sleep. And if there are any sort of family markers for things like high blood pressure, high blood sugar, or hypertension, obviously you're going to take sort of like practical and preventative what am I looking for? Action, that's it, in this period of time to make sure that you don't repeat family histories, because you can decide to do something better and differently than your parents did. That's what's great about each and every one of us in each lifetime. It's free will. So lean into that free will. All right, let's just broadly look at all of these cards and see what else is coming through. As I said, this can be a common cold, a flu, etc. It can also be a reaction to the stress. So sometimes the body just makes it easy. You're like, you know what, I'm sick, I have to take a day off. I remember working with someone once where she would pray for a cold to get sick so that she could have a day off. She was a hardworking mom. She did a lot at the job. And I thought to myself, be careful what you wish for. You don't want that to be a long-term sort of thing. So take a break before your body makes you take a break. That's what I see here. And you don't want something that's long-term, okay? Other things, obviously stress management. And there's so many different ways to manage stress through creative activities, through therapy, through friends and family, whatever works best for you. There may also be a desire here to get out of a situation where you're not getting what you deserve. I'm looking at this, documenting things. We'll talk more about it when we get into, wealth or career. But if something isn't where it needs to be, make sure that you're taking note of it so that when it comes time to have an important conversation, you can speak from a place of experience and facts. This can also just be like a health journal too, bringing it back, specifically into health. Kind of, if you're going to make any changes in your diet or exercise routine, sometimes a doctor will say, keep track of what you're doing. Bring that to me so I can see what your habits currently are, and then we'll know better how to change things. For those of you looking at like blood pressure, this is also keeping a journal of that, or using something like a smartwatch or a wearable to kind of help you out so that you can look at that and share it with your doctor. Okay, so that's what I'm getting with that center card. Let's see what else is going on here. It's interesting that we see this kind of like the step energy. Some of you may be deciding to step it up a notch when it comes to how much you're exercising. You may also be looking at working on the legs in particular. I think it's important before changing anything to talk to your doctor and make sure that you don't push yourself too hard. The Five of Pentacles can also have to do with just kind of dealing with loving and forgiving yourself. So again, I think this would be more of a therapy card when we're looking at that. The most important card, though, is this, changes, the Tower. So there could be something that just kind of like it's a switch that's turned on where you suddenly know this doesn't work or I want this, or there's a significant change in your overall health and it's a wake-up call. Heed the call. Listen to that. And I'm actually quite heartened by this. When we look at hopes, fears, and opportunities, the Chariot shows the ability to steer it in the right direction. One of the things that Spirit's showing you in the outcome is to slow down. Some of you may be basically pulled in too many directions. Maybe all of this represents the community around you that's constantly asking, but you're not getting what you need. So make sure that you also are getting the support, the love, and the rest that you deserve. By and large, this is a pretty good spread. The main thing here is to heed the wake-up call. The good news is most of the outcome cards are very positive, so it's just about making sure that you don't ignore what your body, your mind, and your intuition are telling you to focus on, okay? Let's move on to the next energy and the next sort of category, which is wealth, your resources, your life purpose, and your career. And we have a really powerful card that came through here. You may be asking me, Nicholas, why is love showing up there? Well, because it all has to do with self-worth. Self-worth equals net worth. When you love, accept, celebrate, and appreciate yourself, others come through and do the same. When that is lacking, then you either invite in a lesson or a teacher, or you experience challenges in receiving your worth. And that's what we see here. So you are worthy, but are you ready? And if there's people in your life that don't show up the way you need them to, what we have here is a card showing that that's where the change needs to happen. There's a shift, there's a breakthrough within you, and it's about love and acceptance, and you're not going to accept less than your worth. Such a powerful way to begin this. What I do love about this month, and we'll break it down here in just a moment, but partnership, creativity, and community coming through. And just slow down long enough to see it, and don't be afraid to accept help or to reach out for these community energies that are already presenting themselves. So we're going to break it down into 5 subcategories here. And we're going to start off looking at those of you that are currently working. Then we'll look at entrepreneurs, followed by job seekers. Then we're going to take a look at students, and finally retirees. They're all amazing, by the way. Nothing negative here. The big recalibrating moment, the big takeaway, though, is if there's something that isn't providing or presenting what you need, now is the time to look at something new, walk in a new direction. And it could take a little bit longer than you think, 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 steps, but it's worth it. Let's begin first with those that currently have a job. You've done the work. 3 of Pentacles is recognition, often overdue recognition. It is knowledge and mastery. So this 8 of Pentacles at the center is learning, and this is graduating. So you are now at that point where it's either happening, or again, we have the power of 3 here. So it could be within 2 to 3 months that you reach that pinnacle of success, that final step, and the opportunity that you've been working so hard to manifest is coming into fruition. This also reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune, which came through for another category here, but everything's cyclical. So some of you may be a little bit more trying to work towards, changing the cycle in a positive direction. Don't give up. So whether you're up or down or somewhere in the middle, you're heading in the right direction. Remember, 2 to 3 months. Three of Pentacles is the power of teamwork. So we have multiple teamwork cards here. This is teamwork, this is teamwork, this is teamwork. This is love and friendship. This is family. It can also be peers, but this is very much a work card. This is saying I can do more if I surround myself with equally strong and bright people, and together we can make this happen. You may be asked or may be driven to go into this sort of management energy of the Chariot. The challenge in the Chariot is that people sometimes want to go in different directions. Often the two horses want to go this way or that way, and you're trying to steer them. So if you can steer things in a sort of common trajectory, you can accomplish quite a bit this month. Again, if you're considering education or training or mentorship, teaching, etc., yes to all of the above. This is definitely connected with those of you that want to create a curriculum, write a book, teach, or do a seminar. All of this is comprised within the Three of Pentacles. What's the biggest challenge this month? People that are trying to give you less than you're worth. What's the biggest opportunity? To say no, to advocate for your worth, to also work with the power of others. If you can get support from other people, they can be your allies. They can be the ones that kind of bubble up that sense of value and worth. Okay? Pretty good card overall. Just a couple of other notes and then we'll move on to the next category. One, it looks like you're overdue for a step up, for a new opportunity. And I feel like you might have gotten passed over once before. Get things in writing. This time around, make sure that you've taken in like an inventory of everything that you've done. Bring that to your next performance review. Make sure also that if someone says, oh, you're in line for promotion, that it actually happens. So get it into your performance review. There could also be restructuring going on. Make sure that you speak up. If there is something key going on and you want to change divisions, by the way, you could be looking at transferring from one part of the company to another, or if you want to change up your job, you have more power than you might realize, so speak up. Let's move on now to entrepreneurs, and you got an amazing card, Strength. In this one, we don't see the struggle that we normally do where someone's trying to get you to say or do something. There's no hands in the mouth of the lion. In fact, we see collaborative, cooperative energy here. And this is exactly what I'd like to see for an entrepreneur. So leverage your strengths. That's one of the things that comes through as I look at this card. And let's see what those are. Let's see what the strengths and challenges are. So I think your biggest strength is your ability to be creative. I think also there's a lot of goodwill and good words that are kind of surrounding you. So taking positive feedback, good word of mouth, making sure that customers are filling out ratings and liking and supporting you on social media. That's going to help you get to a larger audience. It's very interesting that we have this in the environment. It can represent one extreme or another. So either you're undercutting your profits, basically doing something at a loss, and that's not sustainable, or you're overpricing something and there's too much inventory. Whatever the sort of issue is with the supply and demand chain there, you want to make sure that you're acknowledging and making the necessary changes. Once that happens, you're going to free up resources, and also you're going to be happier in the long run too. So that's one thing that I see here. The other is that some of you may decide to want to make a difference. So there's also a philanthropic energy that I'm seeing with this. So if you're deciding to give back to the community or to maybe do some sort of a scholarship or an outreach program, I definitely see that here as well. Now, the biggest challenge for entrepreneurs is this: fear, anxiety, or overworking yourself. Make sure that you're taking good care of you, taking good care of yourself, because I already see that you're doing that for others. Oftentimes, and it's true of myself as well, you feel guilty when it's like, I need to take this day off, I need to take this time off. Don't feel guilty. You'll have more to give in the long run. It's going to protect your physical and your mental health. And if you give it all away, then there won't be anything for the next leg of the journey. And as we saw earlier, there's at least a couple of hops that you have to plan for. This is not a sprint. It's a long distance run. So plan out for the next 2 or 3 months so that you can make it to the finish line. One last note here is that some of you may be looking at restructuring the organization of your company. This could be from a tax perspective. It could be from a legal perspective. But what it's going to do is provide, hopefully, more profit and just a more streamlined organization. You may also be overdue to bring in someone to either be an assistant or a middle manager to take some of the load off of you. Let's move on to those of you that are seeking work. I love the Wheel of Fortune. It's an yes, it's definitely a yes, but there's a few things here that we're looking at. First of all, the Wheel of Fortune is about cycles. And what we see here for some of you is before you step into the opportunity represented by the Wheel of Fortune, we're going to focus on negotiating and really feeling like you're ready for the interview. So this is really about salary, I think for some of you. Doing the research and finding out what you're worth and not accepting this deficit, because the difference between the 5 and the 8 of Pentacles is pretty significant. So I would be a lot happier with 6 or 7. So make sure that, if someone's trying to walk you back from your goal, it's not more than maybe 10% or so from that goal. Really look at other best practices out there. See if you're basically making also what peers are making, and don't accept an offer that comes in under what's expected. I think for some of you, there's a chance to also look in different geographical locations. And this is getting out the map and saying, where else can I go? If you're willing to move, you might be able to step up. I also think it's important to look at the overall morale and organization of the company. I've been talking about reorganization, mergers, things of that nature. So how stable is this company? What does their financial outlook look like right now? You want to make sure that you're going into a healthy company, one that's on a growth spurt rather than one that is kind of wheezing and struggling to get back on solid ground. Because it looks like there's a couple, like if you have 2 opportunities in front of you, some of you. So do the extra homework to make sure that you've sorted out what is the environment, what is the structure, and what is also my growth potential here. Is there a glass ceiling? Because I do see that for some of you. So try to get in at the best possible sort of like compensation and title, because you are overdue, many of you, for that step up. And even if you feel a little bit like, can I do this? Yes, you can. You're worth that extra step. The Wheel of Fortune can also represent a complete change. You may be deciding, I want to go back to school. I want to try this career. I want to make this change. And this is about allowing yourself to explore that opportunity and reminding yourself rather that sometimes it might take a couple of steps. So you're going to be strategic about how this is going to align to that long-term goal. Moving on to students, the Queen of Swords is fantastic for students. This is really about the importance of speaking up too. So if you don't understand something, ask a question. If you want to focus a little bit more on communication, this is a great time to take more classes in communication. And it could be different types of communication, like maybe you want to learn more about prototyping or how to draw or illustrate or create some sort of a demonstration, because it's not just words. But I will say this, the most important skill that you can have in any industry is the ability to communicate your wants, your desires, your confusion, your questions. Communication is powerful. So maybe putting a little bit more focus on that will help. Other things that I see, don't run yourself to the point of being exhausted. Stress management is really important. I will say though, with the 8 of Pentacles, this is perfectly aligned with the student card. Slow down a little bit. Some of you may be trying to graduate early or putting too much pressure on yourself. Take a moment to just really absorb it. Take time for student life and activities. 2 of Cups, Queen of Cups, 10 of Cups. It's about having fun and drinking it all in. Finally, for those of you that are retired, we have the Page of Cups. This is focusing a little bit more on relationships and personal development and just creating joy in your life. And there are so many different ways to do that. I get learning as a big piece of this, and it doesn't mean that you have to go back to school. You just may be deciding to maybe take on something new, like playing an instrument, or maybe you're auditing a class and just going somewhere just to learn something new. You could also be focusing on something like home improvement or just a task or activity that allows you to exercise your creative muscles, to really focus on making some change in your life. And there's no rush to do anything this month. Taking your time is really key. All right, let's move on to love and relationships. And we have a powerful card here, Orion, coming through. The message on this one is Manifestation Vortex. Focus your energy with unwavering faith to manifest the outcome that you require. This card is so wonderfully connected to the Five of Pentacles. There needs to be a return on the energetic investment. If there isn't, there really isn't time anymore to put energy into something that is just a one-way street. So let's break this down into 3 categories, and we'll take a look at the larger spread as we do that. So the 3 major categories in relationships are those of you that are currently in a relationship, those that may be seeking love, and those that are single and happy. If you're currently in a relationship, the King of Pentacles in reverse represents time and energy that you need to spend on healing yourself, getting the support that you need. And for many of you, it's recognition that you tend to be the paternal or maternal one. So it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to receive help, much as I was talking about earlier. A couple of things that I really like about existing relationships: 2 of Cups, 10 of Cups. Not only that, actually, the eight of Pentacles here, doing the work. All of that is really, really good. The biggest challenge, I think, is stress management, possibly communicating when you're in a stressful place and saying something that you regret. Be careful. There's also some, for many of you, like rapid changes going on. There could be a change in health, a change in your career or job situation. There could also be something going on around you with someone that you care about. We want to make sure that we're not putting that stress on the relationship. Basically, you're there for each other. You're there to lift each other up. But if there are some of these external stresses that are going on, make sure that you're doing what you can to get the support needed and not sort of like dump that on the partner, on the one that you love the most. King of Pentacles in reverse also is an encouragement not to overwork, not to overeat, not to overdo anything. So let's avoid extremes this month. And if you're watching your partner go to extremes, there's only so much you can do. You can be the voice of reason, but they have to be the one that is ready to take that first step, okay? Moving on to those of you that are looking for love, can you find it? Absolutely. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse, though, is about taking the first step, speaking up, asking for what it is that you want, asking someone out if you're interested. I love that you're coming through with Queen of Cups energy. That portends good things. We have the ability to meet someone in both the 2 of Cups and 10 of Cups, so close friends and family, and also peers and friends. What kind of energy is coming through? It's kind of interesting here. I mentioned if you're looking for love, you can find it, but you may fall head over heels. Make sure that that energy is reciprocated. Make sure that you're ready for it. We also have very beautiful energy here in the Chariot. This is someone who's driven. This is someone who might also be willing and ready to support you on your path. But they do have a point of view, and it is someone that's outspoken. So that is the only maybe cautionary note there. Take your time and don't rush into something, particularly if that person has a little bit of healing to do or you do as well. This is just a time to get out there and mix and mingle. You may also find another water sign, a fellow Pisces, or maybe a Cancer or a Scorpio as well. For those of you that are single and happy, we have the High Priestess. I love that there's a little bit of a veil there. There's some things that are starting to come through that may even surprise you. This is a perfect time for intuitive development, any sort of creative endeavors that you might have. As we've been talking about time and again, also a great time for knowledge expansion or education. Even if you're single and happy, there are different types of partnerships that are presenting themselves this month, so you don't have to step into this new sort of arena alone. It feels like the power of 2, at least, at the very least, a mentor, a friend, a partner can still come through and help you kind of achieve the next pinnacle of success. And by the way, you've done the work. So this is a time to get out there and explore and see what the world has to offer. Finally, let's look at another twinning card here, the Destiny one. So you have 2 cards that came through in Destiny. The first one is Hathor, light activation, acceleration, brilliance, and standing in your light. This is basically the star card. So you've worked hard for this moment. Don't dim your light for anybody. And just like a sun card, because we're looking at that solar disc or crown, this is also a time for birthing, creating, and really allowing yourself to just be authentic, right? Then we have Green Tara coming through to help you heal. It says healing light, wellness unfolding. Know that healing is a journey, one step at a time. Don't rush to that sort of finish line until you've done the inner work. So you are all set up for success, but the healing piece is key. And as I said earlier, for some of you, this is healing a wound from the past, okay? So let's go ahead now and look at one final question. This can be anything that I've yet to answer. Go ahead and formulate that question, keep it in your mind, and let's give the cards a shuffle and see how Spirit wants to answer that. The answer to your silent question is Six of Swords. As a yes or no, it's yes. However, this is a card of change and movement. So if you're asking something like, should I make the change? Is it okay to take that next step? Absolutely. If you're wanting to stand still, this card is saying it's time to move on. It's time to let go of something so that you can create space for something new. And moving beyond yes or no's, this can involve travel. This can be a chance to explore. This is also one of the gentle cards of release. So death is kind of like an immediate change or acknowledgement. Four of Swords, a little bit quieter. Six of Swords is you're taking one step each day towards change or movement, and it gets easier with each step that you take. So keep making those strides, keep moving forward, and know that there are more adventures on the way. That is everything for the month ahead. Thank you so much again for your patience, allowing me to get better. I'm just on the precipice of recovering from a cold, so I do appreciate that. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, please subscribe. Let somebody else know about it too. You can share it on social media platforms. I'll list all of those in just a moment. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, and make sure that you hit the bell icon so you never miss out on a future video. You can follow me across social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all the major platforms. I always post notifications of these new videos, so feel free on those platforms to go ahead and share that notification. You can also follow me on new platforms like Blue Sky. My handle there is nicholasashbaugh.com, which, by the way, is also my website. So you can always go there for more news and information. To give back in the way of super stickers, super chat, or memberships is also very helpful, so feel free to do that if you're called to do so. Just remember that I don't give private readings and I do not use direct messages, so if you ever see somebody doing that, block, report, and let me know about it. And that, my friends, is everything. Thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Wishing you much love and abundance in this month ahead. We saw that wants to come forth. So remember that you're ready, hopefully, and worthy of it. And once that happens, you can meet that synchronicity and opportunity as it comes forth. Good luck, and I'll see you soon.